In today's episode of Bill and Frank's Guilt-Free Pleasures, we discuss a song that I think we all hated when we first heard it, but we could not resist its charm.
Because of the California sound that swept the nation.
And my grade 6 class.
This is Bill and Frank's Guilt-Free Pleasures. Take on Fly by Super Ray. Or Sugar Ray. So one of the things we haven't discussed on this podcast is my intense, crippling anxiety and imposter syndrome that I suffer from.
I don't know if we've discussed it, but I feel like it's come through.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And it comes through even more when we have guests on the show, because I always feel like you're auditioning them for my replacement.
Why would you feel that, and how did you know?
In case you haven't been able to discern, we have a guest on the show today who has brought a fantastic guilt-free pleasure song to us. So I want to welcome Kahlin Holmes and her...
Kahlin Holmes.
Caitlin?
Kahlin.
I could have told you that about a half hour ago.
Yeah. Why did I always think I was...
Probably because I just answer to it all the time. Because like you, I'm an imposter.
Yeah. Okay. Kahlin Holmes. Gotcha. So we want to welcome Kahlin Holmes to the podcast, and she brought Sugar Ray's Fly to us today.
Featuring Supercat.
Featuring Supercat, yes.
I just wanna fly like a bird in the sky up so high. Arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. All night long. I just wanna fly higher, 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 higher. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. I just wanna roll your wing and fly.
I love that I could hear the collective groan of a lot of listeners, and I hope a couple fist pumps.
It was audible, that groan.
All right. So, Kahlin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Bill.
Could you talk a bit?
No, it's okay. I didn't introduce you at all.
Thank you, Bill and Frank.
Like I'm not even here.
You did get my name wrong, so...
Okay, only the first 12 times.
My favorite part of the research you did into our guest matches the research you've done onto this song.
Well, she doesn't have a Wikipedia page, so I don't know
Yet.
what I was expected to do.
Kahlin, we had this great discussion about your pedigree as a podcast guest on a show about musicology. I don't want to talk about our stuff like that we're so highfalutin, but I do think what we're doing is more important than just a pop culture thing. We're really kind of exploring the music that's made society in the last 30 years. Does that sound right, Frank?
Yeah, I think it's more than just pop culture. It's popular culture.
I feel like this is where I'm supposed to jump in and tell you I'm the least qualified person to be on your podcast. So, Frank, there's no worry here about me taking your position in this podcast seat. But I'll come back as a guest if this goes well today.
Yeah, if I let you.
Could you please tell us about the courses you took in university that set you up for this podcast?
I took music and popular culture taught by St. Catherine's own Terrence Cox. I have to reference him.
Yeah.
He's a poet and a professor at Brock University.
How did you do in that class?
Well, the long story is that I was driving to the exam and at the gates to Brock, not the gates, but the entrance to Brock University, I just turned left instead of going in and did not go to the exam. So, and Terrence came up to me over a year later and was like, "You failed my class. Why did you fail my class?" He was so nice about it. Of the hundreds of students that were in his class, he remembered that I had failed and he made me feel really bad about it. As if I didn't feel bad enough already.
You were at Brock University and just decided not to go to the exam.
Yeah. So what it was about the course was obviously I liked music.
Yeah.
But I couldn't hear things in the songs that I was supposed to hear.
Oh, okay.
So this actually might make me qualified to be on this podcast, which is the technical stuff about music I find very difficult.
Yeah,
but
we don't
the
understand
emotional part of it, I really understand.
So she is my replacement, is what we're getting at.
Welcome to
'Cause
Bill and Kaylin's Guilt-Free Pleasures. Thanks for coming on as a guest, Frank.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, we got lots of feels going on to Fly by Sugar Ray.
Spread your love and fly. Spread your love and fly.
Before we get into the whole history of Sugar Ray, there are two versions of this song. There is the Supercat version, although both Kaylin and I have called it Sugar Cat about 5 or 6 times before we started.
At least, yeah.
And then there's the
So
Fly.
it doesn't feel so good getting someone's name wrong, does it?
No, it
Terrible.
doesn't. Sorry, big Supercat. So there's the Fly with Supercat and the Fly without Supercat. Do you think Fly is Fly without Supercat?
No.
No, I think the Supercat version is the superior version.
Yeah.
I don't know why they even bothered to have the other version on the album.
I would go so far to call him Superior Cat.
I'll tell you why they had the version without Supercat is because places like the shoe store I worked at could play Fly every day after breakfast at Tiffany's. And so this could then be played in all these other places that couldn't handle a toaster. It's called a toaster or is it called toasting? What Supercat does?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I failed music and popular
Yeah.
culture.
All right, I guess I'm going down my...
Music and popular culture.
But I will tell you that how it makes me feel is toasty.
Okay, well, good. So,
Would he be a Toastmaster then? Is that his particular title?
is that like a type of person who just shows up at parties with like a wine glass and gives a speech?
Or a toaster?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what they're talking about. It's just how they hold the glass.
Well, it does kind of feel like what he does in this song to some degree. But in the history of, say, ska and reggae, actually, I think it is in ska especially, that toasting, which is a Jamaican style of kind of rap speaking over things.
Oh, okay.
I hope I got this right. Anyways, that this Jamaican style of toasting, they call it, carried over into ska, which is so in the English beat, they had a guy who was like a toaster. So one of the guys just
okay.
toasts. I keep calling it toaster. I have a feeling I'm wrong, but I think it's a great term.
It's okay. Just go with it.
I'm gonna
it's
just
okay
own
to
it.
be wrong.
So
Right,
Supercat.
Caton?
Yeah.
So Supercat comes out of this tradition. So on the Wikipedia page that I made Frank look up before we started, they have him listed as like a dance hall legend. Is that right?
Yeah, Supercat is considered one of the greatest DJs in the history of the Jamaican dancehall scene.
Right. So they somehow were able to get him to come onto this track, even though at this point Sugar Ray is not the thing.
Yeah, Sugar Ray had like zero street cred at this point. So how they get someone who has cred, even street cred, how do they get him on this song? I don't know, but it happens.
One word for you, Frank. Money.
They paid him.
Yes, they paid him. This is how it goes. I'm sure he's made absolutely no money on this song because even though
Well, he's not a songwriter, right?
he should be because he clearly made up all these lyrics.
Yeah.
All right, but
Actually, let me check. He might be a songwriter on this.
because I feel like every member of Sugar Ray was listed as a songwriter.
Yeah, he's actually one of the songwriters because his real name is, and I'm going to butcher this, I know, William Anthony Murrah. And he's listed as one of the songwriters on Songfacts.
Oh, that's good. Well, okay. Well, good for you, Sugar Ray, because now the money's spread evenly. I know this is a big money maker because it gets played a lot.
Well, yeah.
Right?
It's,
And licensed.
it's a safe 90s song.
Yeah.
Which is why it always played at the boot shop.
That's right. Exactly. Should we dive into the history of Sugar Ray?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Mark McGrath, born in 1968.
Sure.
Okay.
Works for me.
All right, so that's where it all begins in 1968. He's coming from Connecticut.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. I think so. Is Connecticut near Hartford?
Is Connecticut near California?
No.
No.
It's not.
Connecticut is where Hallmark movies come from.
Oh,
really?
perfect.
Connecticut?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's East Coast, isn't it?
Yeah, he's an East
Yeah.
Coaster. He's a big Hartford Whalers fan, too.
Oh, okay.
Grew up playing hockey, watching hockey, and ended up moving over to California when he was like 6 or 7 and had to stop playing hockey because the nearest rink was like 5 hours away because Wayne Gretzky hadn't come to LA yet.
That makes sense, yeah.
Did he start playing basketball, though? Because I heard that he wanted to be in the NBA before he wanted to be a musician.
Yes, he wanted to be a point guard. According to Mark McGrath, by grade 5, he knew he wouldn't be a point guard, but he liked to surf.
Okay, this is a kid who clearly has no focus. He wants to play hockey, he wants to play basketball, he wants to surf. What's next, Mark McGrath? Astronaut school?
Oh, well, I think that's good because it also is it's also kind of reminiscent of what their band's all about. It's not a specific genre.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah. Kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And so even the way he got into this band, because we're starting with Mark McGrath because he ended up following this band and apparently volunteered to carry their equipment at parties.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he just
Jeez.
yeah, he volunteered to. I don't remember the name of the band, but he
Shrinky Dinks.
yeah, that's what they were when he was in
Oh,
it. But
okay,
before
yeah.
that, there was another band, and he was carrying their stuff so he could get into parties. Of course, because this sounds like Mark McGrath.
I used to do the exact same thing for my friends' bands when they would play gigs
Yeah.
in downtown St. Catharines, just so I wouldn't have to pay the cover.
Are those frosted tips you put on today, Frank?
Okay. Can I admit to something? I had frosted tips way later in my life than I ever should have.
I think you've already admitted to this.
Yeah.
Kahlin has listened to our episode.
Was it when you were doing an NSYNC song?
We haven't done an NSYNC song yet. I'm trying to remember when
I remember you bringing this up.
Yeah.
Either way, that's true.
Yeah.
I was there.
Did Mark McGrath have frosted tips? Because in my brain, I was also being like, oh, frosted tips, like that should have been a red flag, from the beginning, considering the kind of cringy person that he became. But he had like a bleach streak. At least in the Fly
Yeah.
video.
You're right. He did. The frosted tips showed up in 1459.
Which came out in 99.
Yeah, so that was later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was later.
So maybe you're okay, Frank, because you had him in 2015. That's closer. 1999.
2014, thank you. That's when I stopped frosting my tips.
All right, back to this.
It's
He's
okay.
carrying.
They're back now.
Are they?
Yeah. Frosted tips are coming back now.
Sandy, if you're listening, I'm coming in for frosted tips again.
So he's carrying equipment for this band, and they had a guy in the band who refused to sing anything that wasn't from the late 60s and early 70s. And so Mark McGrath volunteered to sing an AC/DC song when the other guy just refused to. So I guess it was at some party in California, and they put him up on the stage, and he sang, so to speak, this AC/DC song. And when he was finished, he did a backflip into the pool.
Oh, that's a cool move.
And that's what kind of got him into the band, or at least when they broke up and came back together, they put him as the lead singer because at least he was kind of fun.
Yeah, okay.
And if you watch early videos of Shrinky Dinks, which was their original name, you can see him doing ridiculous things on stage because he wanted to be Iggy Pop from the sounds of it.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
That tracks.
So, Shrinky Dinks is the band. They're playing around LA, same time as LA Guns and other bands, like kind of the sort of metal stuff.
Yeah, this is in the 80s,
Yeah.
right?
So like 88 plus.
Well, I have 86.
Oh, so they started 86.
Which was the year I was born.
Oh.
That's why you picked this song. Because the band formed the day you were born.
So Shrinky Dinks play in LA, and they're mostly doing covers. They have 2 original songs.
Yeah, one of the facts I read was the band started on a lie. They basically said to an exec at Atlantic Records, yeah, we have like 100 original songs, and they only had 2.
Do you know the names of those 2 songs, Frank?
No.
This is tough for this podcast. One's called Lick Me, and the other one is called Caboose. And so
Okay.
Caboose is the one they made a video of.
Gotcha.
And the guy who made the video was
A train aficionado. Was it Rod Stewart?
No, it was Mick G.
Oh, the director.
Yeah.
Okay.
He directed Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
If not for Tommy Boy, Charlie's Angels might have been the best movie of the 90s. Anyways, Mick G, big...
You were a big Chris Farley fan, weren't you?
But I wouldn't be surprised if it was for Rod Stewart because, like, Mark McGrath is just this huge music nerd, right? And,
Yeah.
everything that he does is just, like, a reference to... Like, I'm sure we're going to get into this,
Yes.
but he's a big referencer. He's just, like, a music nerd.
Yeah.
He just wants to be in the industry.
His goal was to be it, right? It's not like he started with, and he admits this, like, raw talent.
I'm sure we're definitely going to get into this, but when this song came to the band, he almost refused to do it. He almost quit the band because he couldn't sing.
I mean, I guess we should go there because I could talk for another hour
About Shrinky Dinks.
about Shrinky Dinks. Anyways, they got threatened with a lawsuit, changed the name to Sugar Ray because apparently Mark McGrath likes boxing,
Yes.
according to Pop-Up Video that I was watching.
And surfing and hockey and basketball.
That's right. And being a frontman for a band.
Yes.
And so they released an album that wasn't incredibly well received. And then
That was brownies and lemonade, right? Or lemonade,
Lemonade and brownies.
Lemonade and brownies, yeah. It was pretty...
Why aren't we serving that today here at the podcast studio?
Because I am a terrible baker.
I should have brought the brownies. Sorry, I do make a mean brownie.
Should we talk about lemonade and brownies before we get to this? You wanted, like, because they have songs on there. Like, they were like a kind of hardcore punk type of...
New metal?
New metal, rap
And
metal.
This is almost proto-new metal, if I could put it out there.
Yeah, because this would have been like 94, 95, something like that.
He's a big Rage Against the Machine fan.
Okay.
So he's trying to do that thing.
95.
So there's a song called Mean Machine on there.
Yes.
That Beavis and Butthead featured and gave it the thumbs up.
Oh, really?
Now, to us, the way I feel with Beavis and Butthead, that's a thumbs down to me, but they really like
Beavis and Butthead are kind of the anti-guilt-free pleasures.
Yeah. So Mean Machine was on there, and it did fairly well in Europe, did terrible in the States. And they covered a song called Psychedelic Bee, which was Howard Stern's band from high school. They had a song called Psychedelic Bee, and they covered it, and then Howard Stern played it on his show.
Oh, really?
So they made moves.
That's smart.
Yeah.
They made good moves.
Smart.
I also heard when they were trying to get a recording contract, and this is back in the Shrinky Dinks days, that studios didn't take unsolicited demo tapes or anything like that. So what they did was they would send pizza to the studio, like to the execs, with their demo tapes in the pizza.
And the video was in there for Caboose.
Yeah. But what went terribly wrong is they actually baked it into the pizza, so it would never play in any of the players.
No, that's a great story.
That's like, what's that movie, Tokyo...
Drift.
No, it's like Tokyo Rock or something like that. It's on Canopy, but they have all these kind of crazy hijinks to get their tape in to the record producer.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like that's one of them. So maybe Mark McGrath stole that from that movie that I can't remember the name of.
Life imitating art or art imitating life?
Mark McGrath imitating.
Yeah.
Art imitating life.
Mark McGrath imitating an artist.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, okay. Full disclosure. Maybe I'm getting kind of the vibe here that you're not Mark McGrath fans. This guy was won over.
I'm recovered. I'm a recovered Mark McGrath fan because of doing the research for this podcast. When I was preparing for this podcast and starting to tell people that I was going to do it, like I was embarrassed, which I think is the point of the podcast. It's guilt-free pleasure, right? You're
Wait,
supposed to be
were you embarrassed to be on the podcast or embarrassed about the song?
No, stoked to be on the podcast. Embarrassed to be talking about Fly by Sugar Ray. And part of that too is, we haven't talked about this, but part of the reason that I'm here is because I am the little sister of Nathan Holmes.
I would say that Nathan Holmes is the big sister of Kathy Holmes. Wait, big brother.
Sexist and wrong in the same.
That's right. Well done, Frank. That's right. Well, we introduced Nathan as Kahlin's brother in previous episodes, and he said, you need to cut that. Got really angry, actually, just throwing things like, all right, we'll cut it out. But when's your sister coming on?
Yeah.
And he said, I need to come on at least 2 more times, and then I'll let you.
Yeah. And then he brokered this whole thing.
He did broker the deal. You sent us a message that I never checked on Instagram for about 4 months, too. It turned out it was in one of those files.
I think he wanted me to go through him for the song. Like, I think he wanted to first determine what song I was doing. He wanted me to do Len.
Oh, Steal My Sunshine.
Steal My Sunshine.
Yeah.
Right? Which I think this song actually paves the way for.
Nice.
Potentially.
I'm not going to disagree, no. I think,
Very good.
I think
I
you're
don't know
correct.
what the chronology is, though. When does Len come out?
Len came out, I was in second year university, so it would have come out
97.
late 97, early 98.
Same time then.
Yeah.
Same time.
They're swimming in the same ocean.
Yeah. There was that California sound that was sweeping the nation at the time, right?
Yes.
'Cause
Well,
they-
sweeping Canada, really.
Yes.
Right? Because it's so exotic to us.
Because in around the same time, you have Smash Mouth coming out. Sublime just released their last album. And this comes out of that whole ska revival of the mid-90s, I'm going to say, and that whole California sound that was sweeping the nation.
Yeah. Well, definitely sweeping my grade 6 class. That's for sure.
This is great. I hated this song when I first heard it. It's going to come up later, I know. We're trying to get, it's tough talking chronologically about this. And I remember hating this.
Yeah. If Mark McGrath can't find a focus on what sport he's going to really dive into, which I think diving was one of them, then we don't have to necessarily be focused in the order that we go through this episode.
Okay, they toured Lemonades and Brownies, and I think they actually were at like this Edgefest 2 show that I was at with
that's
Nathan.
right.
No way.
I think they were on the side stage, and I remember hearing people talk about how much this band sucked. Like, I remember people being angry about Sugar Ray, and it came up at like the next Edgefest where they talked about, like, someone on stage talked about Sugar Ray.
Wasn't it Sloan?
I thought so. I don't know if I have the wrong band.
That explains so much.
Yeah, I feel like Sugar Ray was out there then, but I might be wrong, but I feel like I'm not. And during the recording sessions for Fly, they were kind of given this sort of order by Atlantic. You got to have a hit or this is the end. And they're coming up with songs. And the drummer, we didn't talk about who was in Sugar Ray at the time.
No.
Okay, let's talk about who's in Sugar Ray.
There's a long list, but I don't know if all of them are in it like throughout every year.
So the band that I have is obviously Mark McGrath. Then the lead guitar and ukulele
Oh, wow.
would be Rodney Shepherd. I don't know where the ukulele puts in, but bass would be Murphy Cargas. Sure, that makes sense to me. And then the drummer was Stan Fraser.
Okay. So Stan Fraser is the one who brought this song in.
Yes.
So Stan Fraser brings in the chorus. And according to Mark McGrath, it was like, I just want to fly.
Yeah.
Something like that. And Mark McGrath is like, screw this, man. I'm quitting the band because I'm not doing this song. And he left.
I think he had the imposter syndrome the same way I do because he didn't think that he could sing it.
Yeah.
Which he couldn't.
It's true. And he called his friend McG on the phone and says, I want to quit the band. There's a song called Fly. And McG says, you should work with it because what are you going to do, man? Work the door at this club or sell Quiznos subs or something like that?
Are you going to work at Del Taco?
Del Taco. So every time Mark McGrath gets a version of it, he just picks a place he doesn't want to work.
Yeah.
So McG was the one who told him to go back.
Okay.
And he goes back, writes lyrics, which we will get to. I'm really looking forward to this. And he talked about getting into the studio, and he knows it's their only shot because this is the only song that could possibly be a single on Floored, the album.
Yes.
And he said he got into the studio where you're all by yourself at the booth, the vocal booth, to sing. This is the most lonely place you can be.
He hasn't spent time at my house, has he?
The producer, David Kahn, who they chose because he produced Sublime. Apparently Mark McGrath, I think, might have been friends with the guys or really liked what they were doing.
With Sublime?
Yeah.
Yeah, part of that California sound that was sweeping the nation.
And my grade 6 class.
And Carolyn's grade 6 class.
Frank, do you want to know who else was Mark McGrath's friend?
Who's that?
Korn.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
I know. This is
That's amazing.
this is tough for me.
There are so many intersections happening here. This is...
Layers.
Yes. Layers.
There are layers.
So David Kahn pipes in. I guess you know when you kind of press the button to say, hey, Mark, yeah, you have a bad voice. You can't sing, he says to him. Just so you know, you can't sing. But if you trust me, this is going to sell 2 million copies.
Like, he jumped in on Pro Tools, the editing software, really early.
So basically, this is a Pro Tools cut, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so David Kahn said to him, what we need is your tone. Your tone is fine. Your voice isn't good. We're going to use your tone, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And what they did is they just did bits and pieces. So he didn't sing the full song. He'd sing a bit, they'd cut it, get him to sing the next bit, cut it, until he learned to sing. He said, you got to sing more like how you talk. We can get your tone. So Mark McGrath will say in interviews, no, I can't sing. I have a tone, but I can't sing. And when you hear live versions of this, he's not wrong, but he uses his voice and it works.
Yeah.
Which is a big part about rock. Or as I like to say, rock and hop. Rock and hop, see, Kahlin and Frank, is rock and roll mixed with hip hop.
Gotcha.
I was also going to ask, Pro Tools is like an early auto-tune, I guess.
Isn't it the Mac program? We don't use Pro Tools because you have to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
We use Audacity.
Yeah, because it's free.
Thank you, Audacity. This show is brought to you by Audacity.
Also, they pay us.
I love free software that pays us.
Yeah.
And so, this song gets released to the world and does shockingly well. Not just shockingly well, pretty much goes to number one, but can't go to number one because it's not released as a physical single.
That's right. Yes.
So, but it's number one on pop radio for 4 weeks. Do you know what was number one at the time, though, on
No.
Billboard? One of your favorite songs, Frank.
Breakfast at Tiffany's?
No, the Candle in the Wind, the Princess Di version.
Oh, that's
Goes with
right.
all those plates you collect.
Which you've decorated this pub with.
Frank's not a big monarchist. He's a big Dianist. All right, I'm going to read to you. You can cut this out, Frank. Things that Mark McGrath has said about Sugar Ray before Fly.
Gotcha.
Like what they were as a band. He said, this is in the 80s. We had long hair, and that time was all sunset metal.
Oh, that's amazing.
Poison, Bang Tango, LA Guns. We hadn't written any original songs, so that was our vibe back then. We were kind of like a crappy Hanway Rocks meets a crappy Faster Pussycat with a whole lot of the Beastie Boys thrown in without any of the talent of those bands. So that's one. Then he says, a lot of our stuff earlier was punky, thrashy, almost rap rock. I was a huge fan of Rage Against the Machine. They were breaking at the time. Korn were friends of ours from Orange County. We were down tuning and doing all that. We were an amalgamation of everything and a whole lot of nothing all at once.
That is a lot of influences that I do not hear in Fly at all.
But this is it. What happened was, and he says, when you get signed to a label, they used to do this, where they trusted that the look of the band and the idea of it was important and that they would learn to play as time went on. So that as they toured...
It worked for me.
Yeah. They learned how to write better and to play better. Now, he, of course, attacks his own voice, but he said the others started to learn how to play guitar better, how to drum better, how to listen better. So when Fly was put together, this is the sound of a band starting to realize they could actually create something people would want to listen to.
Yeah, okay.
Did you want to listen to it when it first came out? Can we talk about this part? Do you remember where you were when you first heard this?
So this would have come out in 97.
Yes.
June of 97, I think
Yep.
we said, right? So is at the tail end of my first year of university. I was a bit of a snob musically.
Yeah.
In that sense that I liked the song, but I refused to admit it. And I talked disparagingly about it in public. I think secretly I liked it, but it didn't fit the vibe that I was trying to portray at the time.
Right.
That makes sense?
With or without a fedora.
Oh, okay.
Did you wear a fedora?
No, I never. I think I talked about this. No, I talked about this during the Cardigans episode with your brother. With Swingers had come out, and I was wearing the shirts and the wallet chains and everything, and I had that vibe about me. So I would have fit in with this.
I had a Sloan haircut, so I was all in on Sloan, and then really Genesis. But I kept talking about Sloan when people wouldn't accept Phil Collins, and I was just not on board with this because the music I liked from 92 to 95 did not match this. So the high school music we really liked didn't match this.
The indie rock,
Yeah, and I didn't like the sort of sampling that was in there. I felt it was impure somehow.
Yeah, I know, right?
And I was angry about it, and I hated it. And I would hear it like every day when I worked at the shoe store. I remember seeing the video and like, I hate these guys. These are dirt bags.
Do you know why we hated them? They represented the guys at that time who were so much more popular than us.
Yeah.
But we could never be.
Even in my grade 6 class.
There it is. And you heard it. You heard it in your grade 6 class.
Yeah. I'm not sure where I heard this song first, but I really associate it with the pool party. And that might be because of the music video that we're going to talk about. But June 1997 would have been pool party season. So that might actually be true. But truly, it was the aesthetic of the boys in my grade 6 class, this kind of like skate punk California look that was
sweeping the nation.
That was sweeping the nation and my grade 6 class. Frosted tips and bleached hair and all.
I can never hear Sweeping the Nation the same way ever again. I hated it so much. It also, I felt like it brought in a wave. We talked to Dave Kitchen about this. He was saying it brought in all these things we kind of despised.
Yeah.
Third Eye Blind was also ascending at the same time.
Yes.
And I kind of hated it too. Man, there's so much. Was Santa Monica out there by Everclear? That's not the band, is it?
Yeah.
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 I feel like it
You
just...
hated Big Shiny Tunes too. This is basically all I'm hearing.
I know.
Yeah.
This is, I just like lamenting the loss of whatever I thought was pure. The band Pure, maybe, too, but I lamented it all. It represented everything I hated about what was going on.
I'm a different different generation than you guys. So like what you're talking about, how much you hated it, that has everything to do with the conflicting feelings I have about this song, because I grew up in the shadow of my older brothers. Speaking of me being unqualified to listen to this song, have quote unquote good taste in music, right? So everybody who knows my brothers seems to think that I also have inherited these genes of good taste and intelligent way of speaking about music, but I don't.
Which is why you're on this podcast.
Right. So I could say that I didn't like the song or don't like this song, but I do like it. And for me to say that I do like this song is like taking back that time from my brothers when they were like, no, you should listen to Sloan, which also I love Sloan. So it's fine. But at that time, Nathan would have been coming at me with, why are you listening to this music? Why are you listening to 102.1?
Because at the time, he had the radio show out on Brock Radio too,
That's
right?
Trash. That's trash.
That was the name of the
That was
show,
the name
right?
of the show,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
There is a moment in Nathan's life, though, and this is why guilt-free pleasures kind of exist, where he's like, he was really cool. He's Chris Newkirk cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's a moment when he just said, you know what? I just heard Stop by the Spice Girls, and that song is great. And what am I doing trying so hard on all these other indie tunes? This is a good song, and just accept it and enjoy it. And there was this sort of like letting go of any sort of pretense that music had to be a certain way.
Spice Girls would have been also totally on my radar at this time. Like
Oh,
at that age, in grade 6 or grade 7, whatever it was, like Mark McGrath, I had like no sense of what my musical styling was, right? Like I was still trying to figure that out. So I had, Deanna Carter's country album.
Yes.
I had The Proclaimers was the first CD I ever bought.
Sunshine on Leith.
Yes.
Sorry. I mean, that's what I heard it was.
Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't have any style at the time.
Music just came to you, right? Whatever you heard on the radio, you just take in.
That's right.
We talked about
back in the day when you used to listen to the radio.
Yeah.
You had no choice but to listen to what was being played, and that developed what style you had, right? Or lack of style, because you just kind of took everything in. My first CD was Mariah Carey by Mariah Carey. At the same time...
That's a great...
Oh, it's a great album. But at the same time, I'm starting to get into indie rock. But no, Mariah Carey, that's it. That was my first CD.
I think this song would have played, like you said, you went to Edgefest, so it would have played on 102.1.
Yes.
But also probably 99.9.
Yeah, it's a utility song.
Yeah. Oh, what's a utility song?
A song that can be played in lots of different places. So it's sort of like Shaquille O'Neal, who's cool with everyone, from your grandma to like your kid brother to like the cool guy in class.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Shaquille O'Neal. And so with Sugar Ray, it was safe everywhere it went. Because you could have the version with Supercat, or you can have the non-Supercat.
The non-Supercat version.
The Superless Cat version. I have to say, I held the candle of hatred to Sugar Ray all through like the last 30 years. And then when you sent the email to us about doing this song, I was like, oh man, I hate this song. This is a good idea though. And he wrote a couple things about what happened to his mom. I'm like, all right, that's kind of funny. We're going to look into that. This would be really good. I don't know if I want to do this song. Like, I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it again. I like this song. This is a good song.
Honestly, I haven't thought about the song in over 20 years. But like Bill said, when this got brought to the table, she's like, okay, I guess I'm going to listen to it. It holds because it has that particular space in history where that sound was sweeping the nation.
Are we ready to dive into the song? The lyrics and all that stuff? Is there any more to talk about?
I don't know if you came across this interview with Mark or not when he was talking about lyrics. You did. Is that what that eyebrow movement meant?
Mm-hmm.
That the podcast fans can't hear?
Yeah. Let me try this. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now they can hear the eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
That's one eyebrow. This was really helpful for me when I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I have to do some lyrical analysis. But what Mark McGrath has said about lyrics is, lyrics, if they just give you the emotion, don't worry about the literal meaning. They don't exist. But if there's a feeling that exists, that's all that matters. So what he's saying here is, like, the lyrics don't matter. Don't take them literally. It's just the feeling that they give you.
He is speaking my language right now.
Yeah, so we're going to do a lyrical analysis now.
Yeah. Well, he also said the song belongs to the masses after you give it to them. So he talked about trying to tell someone what it meant to him, and they would cry because, like, no, I thought it was about my mom or about this. He's like, all right, this is now the people's song. It's not mine anymore.
It's their interpretation of what his lyrics are, right?
No, it means you can play the song on your podcast and not be sued because it's our song, right?
Gotcha. Perfect.
Like, he did say that the drummer brings him I Just Want to Fly, Put Your Arms Around Me, Baby, gives the chorus, he gives the verses, and neither of them talk to each other about what the song meant. So they just like, that's fun. And so
that's awesome.
And there's no way anyone talked to Supercat about what the song meant.
Yeah.
He just did his own thing around it. So Supercat is dancing around the song, which is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He's just going around whatever he wants to feel it is. He's going to say whatever comes to his mind. Not to diminish it at all, because Supercat is the icing on the cake.
Well, it is. All nice and decent, slip of the crew. This is Mr. Cat and Sugar Ray riding through. Want me to tell a man she have me intoxicated, but her love high man like a genie, wanna call with a fly. So me I say a virgin to me, I beg her be the first choice in the water come me.
Supercat really does make the song.
Yes.
But Supercat, there's no way he talked to Mark McGrath. I'm assuming they didn't meet each other till the video shoot. And then Mark McGrath didn't talk to the drummer about the song's meaning.
Yeah. So there's 3 different interpretations of what the song could mean.
And then didn't go even a step further. Mark McGrath is angry about the song, but clearly when he wrote the lyrics, he just started grabbing lyrics from songs he liked or was listening to. And I got all those songs here today.
Okay.
And we're going to listen to them all on this 3-hour episode.
You got
of
it. We're going to work through them.
Guilt-free pleasure.
Yeah, so let's walk through. I mean, this is a tricky part. I think we all feel kind of intimidated trying to talk about Supercat because one is like, depending on what site you're on to see what he's saying, or like, what is he getting at? And I think it doesn't matter so much as there's a feel there to Supercat.
Yeah. And
What it is
the feel and the emotion.
Yeah. And so that beginning where he just jumps around.
Oh, he jumps right in. Both feet, deep end.
All nice and easy. Slip of the curl.
Wait, did he say sleep with a girl?
Slip of the curl.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just looking at genius.com here.
Gotcha.
I didn't know. It didn't matter.
Slip of the Curl is a surf thing, so maybe he did talk to Mark McGrath.
Oh, yeah.
I actually don't know if it's a surf
Mark
thing.
McGrath said he likes
Canada.
surfing, but not crazy surfing. He likes surfing where his beginners surfing are around, and he'll
like
surf.
the kind I did.
There's a lot he said. They just cut it out of the lyrics I have here. But let's jump to the lyrics we can understand. All around the world, statues crumble for me. This is a line from a Killing Joke song called Sanity.
All across the seas, the statues crumble. Whoa.
There it is. The first line is all across the world, statues crumble. So he just took the line right from Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Then he admitted to it too.
So how many songs did he rip off for this song?
Well, now we're getting into my analysis. Okay, that's line 1 from Killing Joke. Line 2, who knows how long I loved you? All right, you two, are you ready?
Ready, Bill.
Are you?
Who knows how long I've loved you? You know I love you still.
I Will by the Beatles.
Oh,
White Album.
yeah.
Alison Krauss is a great version.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, who knows how long I loved you is straight from the Beatles, I Will.
oh my
Okay?
goodness.
And then the next line is, everywhere I go, people stop and they see. 25 years old, my mother, God rest her soul. Now, just picture this. None of these lyrics match up to each other, right? Like, they're all over the place. And then suddenly, it's talking about his mom. 25 years old, my mother, God rest her soul. We know where this is coming from, right? Gilbert O'Sullivan. Frank, have you heard this song?
I think that I have, yeah.
65 years old, my mother, God rest her soul, couldn't understand why the only man she had ever loved had been taken.
But Gilbert says at 65 years old, my mother, God rest her soul, and he's talking about her, whereas with all of these lines, Mark McGrath is centering himself, right? So he's going, all around the world, statues crumble. That's the line in the original song.
Yeah,
It says, for me. And then, who knows how long I've loved you? That's the actual line from the song, right? And then, Everywhere I go, people stop and they see. So they're seeing, at least my interpretation would be, they're seeing me at 25 years old, and I'm this like tragic 25-year-old orphan.
All around the world, statues crumble for me. Who knows how long I've loved you? Everywhere I go, people stop and they say, 25 years old, my mother, God rest her soul. Lord of mercy.
Bill had initially told me that Catriana here was going to be on the podcast. That was the line that you had texted him. 25 years old, my mother, God rest her soul. It's like, was his mom really dead at 25 years old?
Yes,
like,
yeah.
That's the
question, right?
Yeah.
Which I didn't find the answer to until I started researching for this podcast. I've just spent my whole
Like thinking.
Childhood, yeah, that poor Mark McGrath.
I don't know if I believed it, but I for the song I believed it.
Yeah.
It made him more of a lovable character because of the whole things that he did that you could like, oh, well, his mother passed away early.
Yeah.
But he just took it from a line from that song, which I hated this. I listened like, wow, this song is awful. It was 6 weeks #1 in 1972, which also
Bonkers,
tells
right?
you how bad the music was in 1972.
Yeah.
What a lost culture. You come out of the 60s, you got all this music, and they talk about Woodstock and all this stuff. And this is the song that's 6 weeks at #1.
Yeah, because all the musicians went corporate at that point.
When she passed away, I cried and cried all day, alone again, naturally.
So Alone Again Naturally is an interesting choice, which might make Mark McGrath, if I can quote Taylor Swift, so metal. Also, that's like the worst thing I've read this week, is that Taylor Swift described her current boyfriend as so metal for referring to her on a podcast. Like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard. The term metal?
Do we not like Taylor Swift?
I thought I did, but then she called him so metal. Like, that's stupid.
I love that that's what you hate Taylor Swift for.
Yeah, the metal thing. Gilbert O'Sullivan. Here's the interesting thing with Gilbert O'Sullivan. Biz Markie used the song Alone Again Naturally as a sample. And it was
Or which one?
It was a song called, I think it was called Alone Again Naturally. It might have been. And then he got sued by...
Gilbert O'Sullivan?
Yeah, or it was the company, because it was really weird, because Gilbert O'Sullivan said he gave the publishing rights to his company. I was reading up on it, and he was on the stand saying that he did not give permission to Biz Markie for using the song, because Biz Markie rightfully saw it as a funny song and made fun of it and talked about being alone again naturally. And so it's a famous lawsuit because Biz Markie lost, and that meant every sample used in a rap song
That's right.
had to be
Oh, yeah.
cleared. And so that was from Gilbert O'Sullivan, who, according to Celebrity Net Worth, is worth $20 million.
Wow.
I'd never heard of him until researching
No,
this.
exactly, right?
Oh, man. So now I dislike him, but I also want to have his money, so I kind of want to be him.
How did Mark McGrath come across? Gilbert O'Sullivan is what I need
this
to
is
know.
the thing. Okay, this is bonkers. The number of songs that he's bringing in, from the genres that he's bringing in, and this goes back to his being a giant music nerd.
Yeah.
He won 3 times on Rock and Roll Jeopardy. Like, I know the band is Sugar Ray, but it's hard to talk about Sugar Ray without focusing in on Mark McGrath and his crazy frosted tips. But, like,
Those unforgettable frosted tips that
Absolutely.
influenced Frank's
it influenced me in my
hairstyle.
30s to frost my tips, finally.
So speaking of like other references though, like and the diversity of those references, I also read that Every Morning was a reference to this song called Suavecito by Melo, which everyone should give a listen to, or if we don't know it, I feel like this is why I failed music and popular culture. I don't know what references people are going to know or not. That's
You got Frank and I are stumped right now.
Yeah.
And another one, Hugh Masekela's Grazing in the Grass. And they're both like nice songs, actually.
I think that despite the fact he claims he listens to Rage Against the Machine and he's friends with Korn, He's listening to Gilbert or Sullivan, which
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah.
I would never have listened to this ever in my life.
His
Never.
parents had that album. That has to be
Yeah,
because this is
100%.
before children who are listening to this podcast, peer-to-peer sharing and Napster, right? Like,
Yeah.
which we
Yeah.
maybe we'll talk about later in the podcast. But this is before YouTube and all that. So where is he listening to this? It's probably his parents' record collection.
I think we all agree. That verse 1 is just an amalgamation of things, and you take what you will from it. I find it kind of endearing that he's just choosing all these sounds around him,
Yeah.
and that you kind of make meaning of it, because then it leads to the chorus. I just want to fly. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. I just want to fly. And then, Supercat's going to do his
Yeah.
thing.
I just wanna fly. I where you want. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. I just wanna fly. Where you want, where you try, where you want. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. Well, spread your love.
And we mean this in the most loving way possible. I have no idea what Supercat's saying.
No, but when he says I want to fly, and he says put your arms around me, is that to hold him down or to fly with him like Margot Kidder and Christopher Reeve in Superman 1?
My understanding is that this was about a romantic sort of getaway. It's like, I want to fly. Put your arms around me, baby, because we're going to go away together.
Yeah, my reading is, and I think Mark McGrath talks about the Gilbert O'Sullivan influence of these tragic lyrics with this lilty song, right? And that's what he was inspired for Fly, was to have this very kind of tragic content and then it be juxtaposed with this very light and bouncy Californian sound.
That was sweeping the nation.
Right. So my take, being since influenced by Mark McGrath, is that this is a very tragic person who has these really heavy feelings, and he just wants to be swept away in love and fly away with this person. And it's about love's ability to kind of sweep you up and take you away from the heavy stuff that holds you down on earth.
Yeah. I want to say that Sugar Ray's Fly and the term juxtaposition, that Venn diagram never came together until I started researching this episode and started to discuss this song.
Yeah.
That made no sense to me at all. That those two things, they existed in completely separate universes. But now it makes sense.
But there's so much more to say.
Yeah.
But, okay, we're going to get there.
Okay. Verse 2?
Verse 2.
Verse 2.
Dance a little stranger. Show me where you've been. Say what?
Okay. I love this lyric.
Yeah, dance a little stranger.
Show me where you've been. So this is dance and show me what you've experienced. So this is a guy talking to his best girl, in my experience, or my lack of experience, about she's been all these different places. She's experienced life. She's experienced culture. It's show me where you've been by your strange dancing from different cultures, right? Because it's not necessarily the California way of dancing that is sweeping the nation at the time. It's different types.
Well, not yet. Wait till you see Mark McGrath dance in the music video, because
I have written here as a category bad dance moves to this song. And so my question would be, would you do the airplane or would you do a flap like a bird?
Oh, I do.
Or would
the
you do
seagull.
really bad hip hop where you're I'm
No.
trying to show you I can hip hop? You do the seagull?
I do the seagull.
I would do it like a broken winged seagull, kind of like Mark McGrath. He's into this sweeping down kind of thing that he does. in
So
the
like a
video.
shoulder roll. Kind
It's
of.
like shoulders, yeah. It's a lot of
Okay.
shoulders.
I've seen birds do this. It's a trap. They're going to bite you in the head. It's because their
Seagulls particularly.
his nest was nearby.
But am I wrong in that sort of reading of it?
No, I got kind of the
I
same
kinda
thing.
like that.
It's like when you meet, and because of the time that this song comes out, the thing that I think of is school dances. And I don't know if you had this, but my school dances, we actually had other schools come to our school.
Wait, to St. David's?
To St. David's.
Really?
Yeah. And so to me, it was about, you meeting a new person and they're not from your school. They're from a different school. It's that exoticness that you can kind of just layer on them
How do you dance in Virgil?
I don't know how.
Well, you tell me because
I'm not from Virgil.
no, because people from other
Carolyn from Virgil.
from Virgil, people from Virgil would have come to St. David's. Show me how you dance in Virgil.
Like a broken winged seagull.
Frank, do you think anyone would ever say to us, "Dance a little stranger"?
No,
Or they just
no,
stop.
no, not the way I dance. Nope.
No. All right. Love can make you hostage. Want to do it again. All right. I hear Pat Benatar, Love is a Battlefield, and Steely Dan's Do It Again. There's no time to think. Bob Dylan song. About the starting or the end, we'll find out, I'm told. My mother, she told me so.
Dance a little stranger, show me where you've been. Say what? Love can make you hostage, wanna do it again. Word. There's no time to think about the starting or the end. Never. We'll find out, I'm told. My mother, she told me so. Yeah, you hear that?
Back to his mom.
Has in all the research that you did, Bill, because in the interviews that I watched, Mark never spoke about his mom, but I feel like there's got to be something there.
There's something there. From what I gather, his dad was encouraging, and so was his mom. But I don't know which was more. His dad was like a numbers guy. So he did a lot of real estate sales, his dad did. But his mom, I think, was more encouraging. The mom is in the video.
Yes,
Why?
that's right.
All their
are.
moms are in the video.
Oh, their moms are the booty shaking women around the pool.
No, Kayla, how'd you go there? No, they're the moms at the end that the station wagon goes back to see, and they're waving to them.
Yeah, they all hug them and walk into the house together.
Yeah, that's the end of the video. So his mom's still alive then. I heard an interview where he talked about his dad. No word of a lie. He said, "Oh, my dad, God rest his soul." So like, oh, he became the character. He's
Yeah.
Gilbert O.
I don't know. I think this last little bit is like it's love's ability again to take you away from sadness and potentially keep you there. I guess if the hostage thing holds true, and that you don't even think about. You first see that person from Virgil dancing strangely.
Virgil was a weird place.
You're not thinking about the consequences of what might happen if you dance with them.
So, I mean, we know that he's doing bits and pieces of the chorus in the studio. It sounds good to me. Like, so he's layered with the chorus, right? I just want to fly.
Supercat, you're talking about.
I'm talking about Mark McGrath.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like there's layers on it, and it is enjoyable to hear this chorus.
Yeah, it is a fun chorus.
Yeah, category here. Karaoke.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So originally I was like, no, I wouldn't karaoke this song because there's only really like the two verses and then it's like this repetitious thing and that would get really boring. But if you knew that, then you could it'd actually be a nice short karaoke and then you just, do a little seagull with the broken shoulder dance.
Yeah.
For
Let
the
everyone
rest
else
of the song.
do it.
And yeah.
The only way I could do this with karaoke is if Bill agreed to do the Supercat part for me.
This is a slip of the curl.
That was awful. That was just terrible.
Were you expecting it to be good?
No!
Or could you possibly ask?
Which fits in perfectly with my karaoke ability.
All right. Yeah. So the song, it's pretty long.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a like the hardcore kind of part of it where they do the.
There's the bridge, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, thank goodness for Supercat.
That part of the song is very sublime also. Like
Yes.
that's the really influence of David Kahn there.
Yeah.
And he does give credit to David Kahn for kind of saving the songs. It's like there's his lyrics, he brings the verse, there's that chorus, but David Kahn brings everything else that you actually like about it is coming from him.
And his Pro Tools.
Mark McGrath, he refuses to sort of build himself up. He plays this character, and it is a character. I really like him. The character that he plays is great. And so whenever you interview him, he says the same sort of thing, but he's like, he'll make fun of himself first. But I wonder what the band feels about it, because he'll mock the band, but he is also the face of it. And so he was on Extra, right? He was in Sharknado 2, 3, 4, and 6, I think.
He was on Big Brother.
He was on Big Brother.
Yeah.
He was on Scooby-Doo 2.
Father's Day.
That's
which,
right. Yeah,
which he
yeah.
thought would be a huge hit. Turned out to be the worst thing ever. And there's something so likable about him in every interview where he's like, we do nostalgia tours, he says. But the thing you'll never hear from any of us is here's our new song. He says, no one wants to hear it. He goes, I like these guys. I don't want to hear their new songs either. So he has kind of carved out a space where he is like the most likable guy. He did this right after Fly, even though they seem like dirtbag rockers to me.
And that's the thing, right? You
Yeah.
look at them and they look like, I'm an unpopular guy. I am not going to like this particular person. But he's a fun dude.
Except for that one moment.
That
Oh,
moment.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's this moment. We know it. And he talks about it. He owns it too. The thing is, he owns even in the one moment where things went south.
And his mom called him out on
His
it,
mom-
too. Who isn't dead.
He wasn't dead at
His
all.
mom, who wasn't dead, called him out on it.
Yeah. So I haven't actually watched it yet in honor of Mark McGrath. I didn't do it to him. But someone called him sugar gay when he walked out of a club.
Yeah.
And then he like lost his mind on whoever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But he said it was to protect the other people at the party who were gay.
No.
You can't even
I can't do
get that
it.
out.
So
can you?
stupid.
Oh.
In every interview I've heard him, he's always given more info than he needed to about his life, and
Yeah.
about his failings and shortcomings.
Yeah.
And he's never hyped himself up, but that is his brand. He got like sued by other people in the band for saying that he took first class flights when they didn't. But in the end, I don't know. He's Sugar Ray. He plays at state fairs, like he says.
Yeah.
He understands what the acts are that he does. He's doing well with it.
He's staying part of the music industry that he loves.
Yeah.
Like I think he's winning at his life.
He makes six figures with the publishing rights to his songs a
Yeah,
year.
just this song.
And song is credited to like 5 to 15 people. From
Yeah.
what I can see.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So he's doing fine, and he admits that and says Cameo and publishing rights have helped him get through COVID. Do you think we should start a Cameo account?
I think so.
And
What
do you-
is Cameo other than Word Up?
You don't know?
No.
Okay. Do you think we should have a toaster for our podcast?
You could combine the two. It could be a toaster cameo. So did you watch his cameos?
No,
for this?
did you
Okay,
watch?
Okay.
I watched a couple. Oh, we have to tell Frank what.
Yeah, explain to me what Cameo is, because I am
Hey, Dad.
so unhip.
So cameo is where Bill pays. Who would you pay to give a birthday greeting for Frank?
Other than-
Leland Sklar, the bassist for Phil Collins' But Seriously tour.
Okay. That's so obscure.
Does he have a Cameo account?
Of course he does. I've been all over.
Okay, so cameo is Bill pays that guy from Phil Collins' band to do a recording of himself saying
okay.
happy birthday to you,
Wait,
or
okay. Does Carly Rae Jepsen have a Cameo account? Because I would pay so much money for her to have a conversation with me.
that's not what it is for.
No. But I could splice it in. Hey, Carly Rae Jepsen, say the following things. And then I would record me saying things, and then we could have a conversation.
And Carly Rae Jepsen would never have cameo ever again.
But I would pay so much money for that.
You can pay him $4 to text you. You pay him $50 or $150 or $200 to send you a video message.
Mm-hmm.
So Mark McGrath, for intro's sake, he does a cameo where he fires somebody.
Oh, serious?
Wait, is it a real firing though?
Who's to say?
Spread your love and fly. Away you want. Try away you want. Nobody try away you want.
Fly became better to me the more I've heard him.
Yeah, the more I dug into the band, the more I like this song.
He's not like Brad Pitt on Growing Pains when Ben loved Brad Pitt's band, but then found out Brad Pitt was cheating on his wife and hated the music.
Are you thinking Leonardo DiCaprio? He was on Growing Pains.
No. Ben on Growing Pains loved a band that was fronted by Brad Pitt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Called Thelma and Louise.
No.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
All around the world, statues crumble for me. Who knows how long I've loved you? Imagine.
Before we jump into the music video, I know the lyrics just jump back into the first verse again, but when that pops through and
This is a good segue, actually.
conjoins into the video, the part in the video when he pops out of the pool, the way he sings that opening line, it feels so much different than the first time he sings it. Because he pops out of the pool in the video, all around the world, statues crumble for me. It's party time fun, Mark McGrath, Sugar Ray.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that, actually. Yeah.
It just feels so much different. Does that, like...
Yes.
But it makes sense in the point of the song.
Yeah,
right?
in that like raspy kind of voice that he has. Yeah, and he pops out. Sorry, we're getting into the video for sure.
Yeah.
But
Which
he
is fine.
pops out of the pool and he whips his hair, and all this water goes flying. And it's like that's the thing that you have the girl doing in those pool videos, right?
Yeah.
And you spun it around. And you have Mark McGrath doing it. And my 12-year-old heart just went ba-boom.
That's perfect. The whole video is just a party time video.
Do you know how he runs up the wall in the ceiling?
I don't know.
So the whole room
Science
moves.
center.
The whole room moves with the camera.
God,
The camera spins, and so does the room. It's the same as in the Fred Astaire in this movie from the 50s where he ran up the wall.
Oh,
and
okay.
Lionel Richie in Dancing with the Stars.
Oh,
So
okay.
that room is moving with the camera.
In around the same time, you had Virtual Insanity by Jamiroquai come out with the room shifting and moving, and he was dancing around it.
Right.
That was like bonkers crazy at the time. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Was there like a fishbowl effect in that too? Because there's
A little bit, yeah.
little bit of a fishbowl thing happening in this video. That felt like very much of the time that like I'm picturing things in my brain, but I don't know what they're referencing. Like album cover, maybe the Chumbawamba Baby or something.
Yeah, the fishbowl effect was kind of sweeping the nation at the time.
Well, spread your love and fly. Yo, me, oh my, spread your love and fly. Yo, me, for I, spread your love and fly.
And we talked about the dancing around the room. That's kind of midway through the video.
Yeah, the first part is like more like a studio stage kind of thing.
Yeah, they're playing, the band's playing.
Yeah, like and it's like one of those 1950s, 1960s references, right? Where the band plays on, you get the lights, and yeah. Then it goes into the fishbowl living room.
Yeah, and he runs around the
Doing jumps and flips and all that other
because the other band members do the lip syncing, and then
Yeah.
he does his thing.
Yeah. And then they end up in the pool.
Yeah.
Well, no,
and-
then they first they are like during the Supercat bridge, they're in a car.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
and,
right.
and they didn't tell the producer because the producer knew the insurance wouldn't handle it, and then they got McGee to film them on top of this car while the producer wasn't
really?
looking. Yeah, got this from Pop Up Video,
Okay.
which is the greatest thing on VH1 ever.
Yeah.
Pop Up Video.
Thank you, Pop Up Video.
Thank
for
you, Pop Up
sponsoring
Video.
this podcast.
Mark McGrath just was holding to like the rack on the top of
Oh,
the
seriously?
car, and they just filmed him while they were just driving around.
Oh, jeez.
And when they were in the pool and they sunk down, they put in 15-pound weights into their pockets so they could
Yeah.
sink.
No way.
The original drummer drowned.
Is this I think the pool thing is a Nirvana reference?
It feels like it. I mean, they all
Well,
everyone wants to be Nirvana, and I think because Nirvana was so surprising when it came out, they're just going to take a chance on everybody and hope something sticks. And Sugar Ray, to me, back then, like, these guys are posers at the worst.
Exactly.
I
That's
was also
what I felt.
wrong.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I know, but I thought I was right because Fly was the only single from an album that felt more hardcore, and I hated hardcore, whatever that even meant.
because the rest of the album was nothing like the song.
But man, they proved me wrong. I would like to hang with Mark McGrath.
I think Mark McGrath should come to the Winchester at one point.
Yeah,
and hang
he's-
out with us.
Yes.
And the rest of Sugar Ray as well. Even Sugar Cat.
Super Cat, Big Cat,
With
Big
me,
cat.
Karen.
Karen.
Karen and Sugar Cat, they're releasing an album together. It's going to be fantastic.
Nobody try away you will, away you can. Yeah. Gosh, girls are both funny, well, I. Nobody do so, you know you want to get a blind. Go and go tell them, I am Mr. Shy Guy.
We know at the end of the video, all their mothers pick them up.
Yeah.
At the house.
Yeah.
So God bless her soul, she's still alive.
Yeah.
At the house there.
They hug their mothers and walk into this giant mansion together.
All right, let's get to some categories.
All right. We are all over the place,
all
and
over
this is fantastic.
Okay, how do you envision Michael Bolton's cover of this song?
Michael Bolton's version of this song, can you slow this down and croon it? I don't know.
Michael Bolton can do whatever he wants.
Well, yeah, absolutely he can. Michael Bolton is the Steven Seagal of the music world.
Hallmark movie. Would this song make a Hallmark movie?
Well, what's the theme of the song other than it's a juxtaposition?
Tragic orphan finds love.
Okay. Tragic orphan finds love in Connecticut while trying out for the Hartford Whalers, realizing that he's really a better point guard for the LA Lakers while he's surfing, because that's what Mark McGrath did, right?
Yeah. How is he going to end up back in New Hampshire for the Hallmark movie?
Because his mom dies.
Yeah. And that's where his best girl lives.
God rest her soul.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean his mom, not his
Not his
girlfriend's-
best girl.
His best. Okay. Next category. What part of the song brings you joy?
Oh, easily. Second time through the first verse when he pops out of the pool. All around the world, statues crumble for me. That just, yep, absolutely.
Kaylin, are you with that?
Oh, I'm with that.
I'm with that too. And as soon as you
Okay.
said it, I'm like, all right, that's the best thing. I love the sound of his voice.
Yeah.
David Cohn was right for that, like 30 seconds that he grabbed his voice. That was
Yeah.
good.
I think there's also a moment in Supercat's bridge where I think he says, or at least according to this lyric sheet, he says it's drink-a-tea time on the borderline, and it's right before that reprise
Yes.
of the verse.
Yeah.
Stick your teeth on the borderline.
I love Supercat's contributions.
Yeah.
I feel it's
Oh, yeah.
like critical to the whole thing.
And I feel like we didn't necessarily do enough justice to Supercat, but Supercat is, as his name says, super.
I mean, how would you do Supercat justice, though? You do an injustice if you try reading the lyrics. So I think the only justice we can really give to Supercat is to encourage people to go and listen to the song and listen to Supercat's
No,
contribution.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Did you bring mixtape to the table?
Yes.
Kaylin, let's talk about your mixtape.
There's no need for a mixtape because Big Shiny Tunes 2 did it for us all.
What was on Big Shiny
So
Tunes?
Big Shiny Tunes 2 was the best-selling Big Shiny Tunes, went diamond. So Big Shiny Tunes 2 was Much Music's rock compilation album, even though, you know, you get things like Sugar Ray on there and Brand Van 3000.
Love Brand Van 3000.
Yeah. What else was on that? Blur was on Big Shiny Tunes 2. Radiohead, probably the first time I heard Radiohead.
Yeah.
I was listening to
Really?
that. Yeah.
So I'm just going to very quickly go through Big Shiny Tunes 2, the lineup on that album.
Yeah, do it.
Breathe by Prodigy, Song 2 by Blur, Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind,
Third Eye Blind also makes multiple appearances, I think, on Big Shiny Tunes comps.
Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth, which is part of that California sound that was sweeping
the nation.
Fly by Sugar Ray and Supercat, Drinking in LA, Numb by Holly McNarland, Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson. Oh, sorry, that was before Numb by Harley McNarland. Swallowed by Bush, Push by Mashbook 20, which is a terrible song and a terrible band. Precious Declaration by Collective Soul? Okay, apparently it's terrible. Temptation by The Tea Party. Block Rock and Beats by Chemical Brothers. My Old Self by Widemouth Mason. Paranoid Android by Radiohead. Remote Control by The Age of Electric, who became Limb Lifter. And Lady Picture Show by Stone Temple Pilots.
All right. There's our Big Shiny Tunes too.
Yeah.
All right, Frank, what do you got for a mixtape?
All right, I have a theme that I'm going to let you guys figure out as I go along. So, the song Fly by Sugar Ray and Supercat, correct?
Correct.
This is going to be really difficult for you guys to figure out. The Stray Cats, Rock This Town. Pussycat Dolls, Don't Ya? Doja Cat, Paint the Town Red. Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me. John Cougar Mellencamp, Hurt So Good. He can't see, but Bill is dying right now. And we finish it all off with Paula Abdul in DJ Scat Cats, Opposites Attract. Can you guess what the theme of the mixtape was?
It's a mixtape for a pool party.
Yes, absolutely.
I went with songs that had rock and hop in it from the 90s.
Oh, jeez. I like that you coined that term earlier in the episode, too.
And I kind of hated every song that I'm going to give.
Well, yeah.
All right. First one, What I Got, Sublime. Next one, Drive by Incubus. What It's Like, Everlast. One of the bigger hip-hop songs of the 90s, One Week by the Bare Naked Ladies.
Excuse me.
1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies. And then the culmination of maybe music history, Butterfly by Crazy Town.
That's one of your favorite songs.
It is one of my favorite songs. I can't resist Butterfly.
Then you need to look for the live performance of Mark McGrath singing Butterfly.
No way.
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, Mark
They
McGrath
were like,
is the best.
Can we find that? Put that link in the show notes.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I feel like we've gone through an incredible journey through the story of Sugar Ray, the deeper meanings of Fly.
Can I say, just before we jump too much into this, the redemptive story of Sugar Ray?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
that's it. That's it.
the redemptive story of Mark McGrath.
Yeah.
Really. We didn't talk about anyone else
No.
other than Supercat.
But the
Yeah.
bigger redemption story is Kahlin Holmes just earned her first-year course, Pop Music History, from Bill and Frank's Guilt-Free Pleasures.
Wait, who's Kahlin?
Is this certified?
Kahlin, I know I'm not Terrence Cox, but I'm going to give you your credit for first-year pop culture music history.
Thank you. Maybe now I can get all those jobs I've been applying for.
That's right. Finally, you actually have an undergrad. We want to thank you for joining us for our podcast.
Thank you, Bill and Frank.
Frank, I want to thank you for actually being on Bill and Kaylin's Guilt-Free Pleasures.
Thank you, Bill and Charity.
So, Frank, if you ever feel left out of Guilt-Free Pleasures, just put your arms around us, baby. Put your arms around us, baby. Because I know you just want to fly.
This has been Bill and Frank's Guilt-Free Pleasures, featuring Super Kahlin Holmes. I read an article, and he said that one of his bigger influences was DBS's Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I
read one
hate
article.
everything you just said. Everything.
Georgie Porgy, no put on our pie. Who kiss the girl and leave them to cry. Tell them it's a cat and a love